Well, I can never leave well enough alone, as y'all can see. Here we are. I always joke around with y'all about me experimenting with all these different camera angles and everything. And right now, I don't know which one to look at. I think I'm right here. But what's crazy, man, is I'm never satisfied. I don't really think I like this camera angle because it makes me look like I got a shadow on my face and my neck. I have no neck, or my neck, extends into my head wrong or something like that. So this is gonna get flipped back sooner rather than later and everything. But welcome to another episode of Bam Guy Magazine, the interviews. I got a special treat for y'all. I like saying things about black men like CEO and boss and things of that nature. I like the fact that there are brothers who can, work their lives around what they already have going on. I like brothers who can sit here and say that I can give jobs to other men. I like brothers who can sit there and say, well, if I want to go to my son's football game on Friday night, I can do that. And, everybody's different. Employees are needed, but we need more bosses too. We need banks. We need to be able to walk into a bank and a financial institution and sit here and say, you know what, I can get me a loan if that's your choice. I always say go with investors, but if you want to get you a loan and everything and get it from somebody that looks like you or a believer, you should be able to do that. If I want to work for somebody that looks like me, I should be able to do that too. So without further ado, let me introduce you to one. CEO. I just like saying that, of legendary financial group, Laramie Jackson. Joins Bam Guy Magazine. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, Good
to see you, man. You came dressed for the party too. Like I didn't have to ask you to put on a collar shirt or nothing like that. I feel underdressed. How you doing?
Man, all is going good, man. All is good. Today I'm just spending a little time with my 4-year-old daughter. And so she wanted to skip preschool today. And so we just been taking some time around the house, just playing. So that's about it.
Isn't it beautiful to be able to do that, man? Isn't it beautiful?
Hey, I'm telling you, nothing like it to be able to set your own time schedule. Man, it's the best. It's the best.
It's great, man, to be able to sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to do this because I want to and things of that nature. It's great to sit up here and say that I can put other people on and things of that nature. I think when it happened first for me is when I had friends that I knew needed employment and I was in a high ranking position at a couple of companies I was at, but I didn't have the power to get them a job.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, as great as I am at this, and regardless of what stature I've grown to, I still don't have any real power. Yeah, that's how it happened for me. Is that how it happened for you?
Man, that's exactly how it happened for me. I used to sit as program directors and everything, had the secretary in the next office and everything, hiring and firing people. But at the end of the day, I had a situation where I couldn't choose my own secretary. I promise you. And so who I interviewed and who I wanted, the higher ups wanted somebody else. And I said, well, if I'm the one that's doing this, I should at least be able to work with who I want to work with.
Right. How does that work?
And so let me tell you, who they put there in place was a disaster. And after that, I said, I got to be in charge of everything. I got to be the one, to make the final decision. And so that's what I'm glad about now. I can make the decision who I bring on and who we have to let go. And so, I'm good.
That's great, man. That's great. And when you started the story, God bless that other secretary and everything. But I kind of knew that's where it was headed, though. I kind of knew that was going to be the end result.
Man, it was horrible. I'll just put it that way. It was something else, Well,
the beauty of it, man, is we got to go through some of that stuff to get to these levels that we are now and everything. So, yeah. What was your work history before you moved into the financial industry? What was it that you was interested in? Did you have a goal or a dream that you decided, this is what I want to do when life took you in another direction, or is this what you always wanted to do?
Well, see, I have been an insurance agent since 2009. And so in 2009, I jumped into the insurance business, and man, that's been it. Just trying to find where I fit in all these different companies and different places, and health insurance, life insurance, auto, all that good stuff. And so I've done it. And so from there on the side, I had always done taxes for other people on the side. And so the opportunity came when I was talking to my brother-in-law, he was like, hey, he had tax officers. So he introduced me to coming into management. And from there, I became the vice president of the company. And then from there, I ventured out on my own and started my own company. So
That's great.
it's been good.
What was that last straw with insurance?
Woo. Man, the last straw with
everybody's got a last straw story.
Listen, my last straw was I was working for a company where I decided to go out and do this debit where I had to go and pick up people's money. And I had this one manager that his ego was just, man, it was just too big for his own self. And at the end of the day, I decided from there, if I'm going to call the shots, I'm going to call the shots. And I told him that he could have the job of everything, and I was out of there. And so, and that was the best thing for me. In fact, I think I was coming from Dallas. I was off that day, and he had called me with some crazy stuff, and I was like, man, this is my off day. I said, but hold on. I tell you what, how about I'm gonna stay off? And that was my last straw from there. And so and I'm good. I've been great since then. So they tried to get me to come back, but nah, it wasn't worth it.
That's usually how it works. They don't seem to appreciate things until they go. We
That's
said in relationships, but that works like that at work too.
Yeah. Hey, the crazy part is, even today, I still have clients from when I worked there that, they still contact me with questions and different things. And I haven't sold insurance for that company in years, but they still call me. And so hopefully that says, I took care of my people. And when you take care of your people, man, they'll stay loyal. They'll stay loyal.
Let's take it back a little bit. We're gonna go to old school Laramie Jackson. Like, we don't always come out the womb and like we just fully developed and stuff like that. So, old school Laramie Jackson, like where you from? Brothers, sisters?
Well, I'm born and raised in Henderson, Texas, and man, I have total, if in grand total between mom and dad, 9 siblings. There's 9 of us total, and so I happen to be the oldest out of all of them. And so, just grew up. My dad, he grew up. When I grew up, he became a pastor, and so he was a Baptist pastor, and he instilled that word in me. So what's interesting now is that I am an apostle, and we've started about 28 different ministries now that we have. And so when I'm not sitting, in the office doing taxes and crunching numbers, man, it's ministry all day long. So yeah.
Always comes down to bringing them new sheep into the kingdom and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the things that always has concerned me is as a former Christian hip hop producer and everything, spend a lot of time around a lot of ministries and things of the nature. A lot of times what you'll see saved people come to the altar where we basically just move sheep around. Like they already saved, but they come to the altar and we think we saved 5 people today. Like, no, these people was already saved. Like we got to talk to
recycle. They recycle members, right. And man, I try to listen. I try to tell people, listen, I don't like recycling other people's members. If you mad at your pastor, then you can come visit, but you need to go back home. All right. And so, people think that's crazy, but no, I want people, to go out there into the kingdom and get people who aren't churched, people who don't know about ministry and begin to, I'm telling you, it's a lot easier to take them from a babe and instill in them than trying to, dissect and pour into people, man, who are already set in their ways. And so, yeah, so we love outreach is a big thing for us in our ministry, and I love it.
So to become the CEO of Legendary Financial Group, obviously, we tend not to go into business with things we don't enjoy. So what was the interest there?
Man, the interest there for years, like I said, I was doing other people's taxes through TurboTax, man. So I knew I had a knack for it, and every year I was just doing different people's. And so I decided, well, and I wasn't getting paid for it. I was just being a nice dude in the neighborhood. And so then I decided when I found out, the financial freedom part of it, I was like, oh, really? So I can work 4 months out of the year and be set for the rest of the year. Man, okay, let's do it. And And so I jumped in it. And like I said, I went in and I was working with others and partnering with others. And I figured out really quickly that I wasn't getting paid my worth. I'll put it that
Mm-mm.
way. Because I was getting a percentage, but I wasn't getting my worth. And so I stepped out, and then I even decided to partner with someone else. And let me tell you, the worst part of that was my business partner actually stole all the money. Kid you not.
Oh,
And
damn.
this was somebody I trusted, somebody I had financially invested in, and everything. And they were able to swindle the bulk of all our money that year. And I couldn't even pay my employees. So that was the worst part, that I had employees that had been with me 3, 4 years, and this was the first time they couldn't get paid. So I made a promise to them that I would never, ever put them in that position again, or myself. And so I made sure that I was the sole CEO, and hey, the buck stops with me. And so that's what I did, and I'm telling you, it's working out pretty good.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Do you ever see that brother again? Was there any way to recoup any of that?
Man, got ghost. I'm telling you, phone numbers changed, everything just got ghost. So, but you know what? Hey, I believe the Lord works all things out,
He
and
does.
I'll just say this, it's coming. I received some phone calls and stuff from the IRS. So I mean, I hate it. I wish ill on nobody, but when you do wrong, it'll come back on you. It'll come back.
It always does. When you do right, that comes on you too as well,
I'm
and
telling you,
everything. All that free tax advice and all those free returns you did and everything, that has to work out for you as well.
because they were free. Man, they were free, man.
Right. So
So
insurance, we typically like we in that November to January range, and then we got to wait on the special election period to come around and everything. So, what's the how does that work in like tax and with your financial institutions and things of that nature?
well, with taxes and everything, most of the time your tax season is going to kick off somewhere around probably mid-December. Now your planning and stuff, we really start that in like late September, early October. Crunching and marketing, because you gotta market, you gotta get out there, because man, there are tax companies popping up everywhere, and so you got to start your marketing. But really, we start seeing our clients mid-December. They start sending information in, and we start going. And January, we hit it real hard. And tax season normally ends on April 15th this year. It was extended to May 17th. And so even now, when I get off, I got a couple of returns that we got to get cleaned up and get sent in. So um, it's a real good time, and it doesn't end when the season is up, because there are audits. A lot of people get audited, and the IRS starts requesting information, and so even at that, you're handling audits the rest of the year. Then people may need an amendment because they forgot something, and so they have to go back and submit something, and so you're doing amendments and audits the remainder of the year. So really, if you're working your business correctly in the tax business, it never ends. So even though tax season ends on the 17th, it really doesn't, because we still have clients who, we're still servicing.
What's the favorite part about that? Is it the interaction with people? Is it the grind and everything? I know it's different for everybody. What's it like for you?
For me, I think it's knowing it's the satisfaction in knowing that I've helped somebody, especially when I can help save money. Because there are a lot of tax breaks and tax laws out there that people don't even understand and know about. And so to be able to come in and see, um, I'll take a point in case. I had one client, and she was owing about $16,000 owing. And that, most people see that and they run. They're like, oh my gosh. But one thing that she never did was, she was a professional speaker, and she actually traveled, across the world doing that. But she never wrote off any of her expenses. She never did anything. I was able to go in and help her to go back and, pull up all her records, all her, receipts, everything, and go ahead and file that. Man, she came out getting a return. And so she did not owe that year. Things like that is what really brings satisfaction to me, knowing that I've just helped save somebody money. And in the long run, I just taught them a lesson, so the next year they don't make the same mistakes. They're prepared. And that's one of the things that I like to do, is help people. And Anytime I can listen, I get excited when I can save $300. Listen,
Right,
let me help you, because that just means that's less coming out of your pocket.
right, right.
So for me, the satisfaction is knowing that I'm actually helping people, and trying to make them smarter, just a little bit smarter financially, so that they can feel empowered when it comes down to their finances.
So is there any validity to the argument that like in her case, a lot of the times we get busy as people and things of that nature. So our argument would be like, I don't have time to keep up with all that stuff. And then there's the knowledge gap and things of that nature. Are those valid arguments or what's your
Man,
opinion?
they're valid. They're valid. A lot of people I see that come to me and they're like, "Whoa, I didn't have time to keep up with my gas receipts. I didn't." Especially if they own their own business and they're out there,
Yeah.
and they want to write off mileage and stuff. And I'm like, "Where are the receipts at? Where your oil change receipts?" And they're like, I couldn't keep up with it." And so, that's a lot of that is true. And what I try to do is give them solutions for their busy life on how to make that easier. There are a lot of things out there, even a scanner, man, where you can just buy one of these little portable scanners, take it
Yeah.
with you. Every receipt, boom, just throw it through there, and it automatically loads up in your system. That's what I do, and it makes it so much easier because at the end of the year, man, all your receipts have been backed up, and you got them. Just different things that I share with people, man. I do some small business accounting as well, and one of my clients, all he does is throw everything in one of those file folders, and he just
Mhm.
brings the file folder and sit it on my desk. Now it's gonna take a couple of hours for me to go through everything, but it's worth it at the end of the day, because I'm saving his company money. Where without that, he'll be owing more. So to me, I just get satisfaction in helping other people. That's one of my I guess my better qualities in life. But I had a job that I actually got fired. My last job I was working at, I got fired because I
Mhm.
was helping the people too much. And so I'm not gonna put the company on blast, but it was one of these good Christian companies out here. And so I was working for them, and I ain't gonna call the chain out, but I was fired because I was over the Bible section in that area, and they said I spend too much time giving the customer what they wanted. I was like, what we supposed to do? You know?
Yeah.
So hey,
From a business standpoint, I guess I get it because it's always about the business winning at the end. Really, we stress customer service, but it's really about us winning those. So from a
it,
business standpoint, I understand, but it's still wrong though.
it was look, it was listen, because we weren't losing a dime. I promise you. The
There you
money
go.
was flowing.
Yeah, they
But
just wanted more of it.
yeah, that's what it was. And so at the end of the day, I wanted to be in a place where I can be empowered to help people and without restraint. And this is what I like doing.
I guess this is kind of a long question. I got to break into two questions. So, so question number one: what does a brother have to do to win, man? Like I feel like the harder we work and the more we try to do things right, we always end up owing. I feel like Mr. Jackson. I feel like I got to get pregnant 6 times. I got to have 5 baby daddies in order to come up on top of like at the end of this thing, man. Like
Man,
help me out.
listen. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you're about absolutely right. I have some hard working clients who are out there getting it, and their returns a little of nothing. And then I have
Yeah.
some other clients who they don't. Man, let me put it this way: I had a client one year that, I kid you not, only worked 3 days out of the year. Only 3 days out of the year, but they had dependents, and their tax return was 2 times what people who were working every day, I mean, out there doing. And all I could tell them was, and I in my mind, I'm like, man, that's messed up. But that child tax credit was booming. And so that's why we have to know all the different tax, breaks that are out there. Man, there are books out there that we read and study, because you can't know it all. And here's the biggest thing: every year the rules change.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have to stay on top of it, because what you could deduct this year, you can't deduct this year. There was a time where you used to be able to deduct all of the things that you buy for work, like uniforms and all this good stuff. Now you can't. There's other things, buying homes and stuff. There used to be breaks for, mortgage interest and all that stuff. Now it's all changed. So I have clients that have been with me for 4 or 5 years, and their whole situation hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
But because the laws changed, now what they normally get back in refund is way lower, way lower. And so it's crazy. I have a lady who she works out of state, and normally she would get anywhere from about 6 or 7 back, 6 or 7 thousand. And because some rules changed, she didn't change her job. She was still traveling, doing the same exact thing, but that refund went from about 6,000 all the way down to 2. So and the first thing they say is, well, what did you do wrong? I did absolutely nothing wrong. It's just laws change. And so those are some things we have to stay on top of. And if you have a good financial advisor or a tax preparer or a CPA or anyone that stays up on the laws, then they can let you know what's what to look forward to each year. So that's the good thing. Make sure whoever you're using is knowledgeable on those laws, because they change all the time. So to say that I know it all, man, I do not, but I can read. And so that's the biggest thing, is being able to read.
Mm-hmm. Now you threw an acronym out there. A lot of people didn't recognize. You said CPA. For those that are uninitiated, tell them what that is.
Listen, somebody that handles all your financial business. Let me
We break it down like that.
Let's break it down. Somebody else that handles all of this so that you can sleep at night and rest well. And so all they do is, these certified public accountants and stuff, all they do is they go in and they maintain basically your life, man. They can tell you, basically, they should be able to tell you how much in taxes you're going to owe when tax season comes. And that way, throughout the year, they're putting a plan together so you don't owe as much. They come with a price tag. I'm not going to tell you, everybody's different. And so you may find one that is in your price range. If so, stick with them. But you want one that really has integrity. Because one thing you don't want is that audit, the IRS to come back and audit your business, because some things were falsified. And I've had a lot of clients come to me who they've been to others and the records were falsified. It's a shame, man, that it happens, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happened to me one year. I kid you not. It's been years and years ago, but um, I used somebody on my taxes to do my tax return, and I got this money back, but they never gave me my paperwork. Crazy. I never got it, but I was in school at the time, so I needed it. And I called the IRS to get a transcript, and they sent it to me, and there was this little kid on my return. I'm like, who is this kid? And they had put him on there as a dependent of mine. I had no kids at the time. I wasn't married. And, so that was another can of worms I had to deal with, because all my records have been falsified with some other kid that I had no clue who they were put on my tax return, just so that the person doing it could get more money in their fees. So it was crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So even after all of this knowledge that you share with everybody, second part of that question, people are still going to be like, yo, I still got to do this myself, man, because I can't pay this, bro. I still want to do this myself. And as you know, and as we've stated, nobody knows everything. So that you need a professional. Like I tell people, like, if you're going to work out, sometimes you need that physical trainer, even though you feel like you don't need to. Even though you feel like, you've read enough and seen enough on YouTube, you still need that real professional medical advice. So
exactly. Listen,
break it down for the folk. Break it down for the folk, man. Like, so why do they need Laramie Jackson?
Well, the reason you need Laramie Jackson is because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, you need someone who can speak the IRS lingo, who's going to stand up, who's going to represent you. And because I promise you, the IRS, if you've ever tried calling in, they kind of cut and dry with you. So you're going to need somebody who knows the ins and outs of the financial world so that we can get you secure. I always say, your future is secured with Legendary Financial. And that's because we go above and beyond to make sure that you don't have to do the hard work. We do that for you. We take the time to sit up and study the laws and go through everything to be certified and make sure that every year, our records and and everything in license is on point. We do that. And so those are things because you have to be registered with the IRS to do that. And so I'm registered, certified, and those are some good things that you want to look for. Can anyone off the street file a tax return? Sure. But will they be able to save you all the money that you need? And if they make a mistake, where's the guarantee that they'll be there to have your back when that mistake comes? With us, what's going to happen with Legendary Financial, if you are audited, we got you. You just send us the paperwork and we handle everything else from there, get you set up, get it sent off, and you're good to go. So you can rest easy at night knowing that we have your back and that we're doing the hard work, and we're out there doing what we need to do to make sure that you're good.
And so how do people contact you? Website, phone number? How do they get in contact with you?
Man, you can get me on Facebook at Legendary Financial Group. You can also reach me by cell, 903-200-9301. You can hit me up on email at Laramie, which is LARAMIE.financial@gmail.com. And so those are quick ways to get directly to me. You don't get anybody else. Most of the time you'll get me. So I'll answer the phone myself.
Are you interested in just service in Texas, or were you looking are you national? Anybody can hit you from anywhere?
Yeah, you can hit me from anywhere. I have clients in New York, Florida, California. We're all over. So that's the good thing with being a licensed or financial group, is that we can do taxes, audits, whatever, no matter where you are. We got you.
Well done, sir. Well done. CEO, the boss. Do you call yourself CEO, or do you have another title for yourself?
Man,
you just walk around saying I'm the boss all day.
Most of the time I don't even say anything. Most of the time, I just say I represent. Yeah, I'm there. I just represent.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right. Much success to you. We appreciate you spending a couple times out here. I told you it was going to be brief. I wasn't going to take up too much of your time. I see the sun is out there. It's not here. We keep hearing about a hurricane, but
I don't know, man. It's beautiful out here. In fact, I'm in my backyard, and
I'm jealous.
I love it. It's peaceful.
And all that back there is your backyard too.
Oh yeah. That's why I moved out here.
That's a lot of area out there.
Yeah, I don't mow it. Somebody else does.
That look like you can have a little trading camp out there or something, man.
Hey, we can do that. We can definitely do that. And my kids love it. They run it with the dog, and so it's good living on the outskirts of the city. So I like it. I like it.
I like it too, sir.
Listen,
if me, brothers like you
pop up at my door. Look, it was intentional because you didn't just roll up on me. You were intentional to find.
You had to have plans to do that, right? Mr. Jackson, been an honor and pleasure, man. You're in the Bam Guy magazine.
Yes, sir.
Inaugural. So this is everybody's chance to get to know you and everything. We appreciate you for taking time out your schedule. God bless you. Continue success and everything you're doing.
Yes, sir. Take care.